Hello, lore nerds. Today, we're talking about the Dragon Queen herself, Tiamat. Tiamat is, of course, one of the most popular and iconic deities and beings in general in the Forgotten Realms and D&D as a whole. She is the lawful evil goddess of evil dragons. Tiamat takes the form of a massive dragon with 5 heads, one for each of the most common chromatic dragon species, that being black, white, red, blue, and green. Although she can use other forms of evil dragon heads, but the most common is those 5. She also has wyvern-like features, bearing a poisonous stinger on the end of her long tail, which is quite an interesting little fact. She is known to be arrogant, vain, spiteful, and greedy. She never lets go of a grudge or forgets any slight against her, and is heavily focused on obtaining more power and wealth. She is the rival of her brother Bahamut, god of good dragons. These two are very heavily linked, and their origin may explain why. So, what is her origin? She, like Asmodeus in a sense, has quite a few origin stories, and it's unclear which is true. One states that she is the daughter of Asgorath, brother to Bahamut and Null, who is another dragon I might do a video on at another point. In the midst of the dragon born of a bear, the 2 siblings were born from the sundered corpse of the god Io, killed by a primordial in the Dawn War. In the ancient Draconic myth Elegy for the First World, which is a poem, both Bahamut and Tiamat formed from the ancient primordial essence at the beginning of time. The 2 then partnered together to form the world. This was known as the First World, which the poem is named after. They then created the dragon gods Sardior, and together they created the dragons. The gods of the outer planes then invaded, and Tiamat continued to fight even after Bahamut was defeated. She was eventually also defeated and sealed away in a prison of darkness. Back when dragons were the dominant force in the world, the various kinds of dragons fought against each other for religious purposes, each believing in one of the dragon gods, commonly Bahamut or Tiamat. This led to the deaths of many dragons, and Draconic philosophers came to believe that any deity that would allow this was not worthy of worship. And so the worship of the dragon gods by the dragons waned, and dragons today are rarely very religious. They recognize the gods as gods, but do not see them as worthy of worship. However, the hatred between Bahamut and Tiamat and their followers was so intense that they refused to stop fighting. This led to the brutal Dragonfall War. It lasted for a very long time, waxing and waning in intensity. At some point, Tiamat became part of the Untheric pantheon. She was meant to oppose their order with her chaos, but she became too powerful for them. Bahamut then also joined the pantheon under the name Marduk. Now that they both had human followers, the Dragonfall War entered a new level of intensity. At the climax of the war, the Battle of the Gods, Tiamat attempted to kill the god Gilgame, but Marduk intercepted and the 2 slew each other, losing their untheric aspects. Tiamat lost divinity, thus becoming simply an archfiend. It remained as such until around 1346 DR, when Untheric cultists summoned an aspect of Tiamat in the form of the Dark Lady, which is Tiamat's humanoid aspect. They formed a rebellion, and as Gilgame became quite unpopular due to their tyranny, the Church of Tiamat grew rapidly and she became a demigoddess. During the time of troubles, this Dark Lady avatar reverted back to the 3-headed form of Tiamat and was slain by Gilgame, but the divine essence instead infused into 3 of Tiamat's most trusted dragons. One of the 3 devoured the other 2, reuniting all the pieces of her divinity and bringing back the 5-headed version of Tiamat. She then killed Gilgame, and so Lord Ao dissolved the Untheric pantheon entirely. She had then once again become a lesser deity. Unfortunately, one of her avatars was slain by King Gareth Dragonsbane, as he had been instructed by Bahamut to destroy the wand of Orcus in her heart's blood. The king then also brought Bahamut worship back to his lands, and so Bahamut became a lesser deity again, which rekindled the Dragonfall War. She joined the Faerunian pantheon in 1371 DR, where she gained the worship of a cult in Luthchik. According to the dragon myths, or at least some of them, the thousand-year war between dragons and giants ended when a curse struck Tiamat after she slew an unknown giant god. She was banished to Avernus in the Nine Hells, only able to leave if summoned by a powerful ritual. Other stories say she was banished there for opposing the other gods, or that she went there willingly. Tiamat, regardless of how she got there, now resides in a lair within Avernus. There she serves Asmodeus, and even helped forge Asmodeus's ruby rod. She guards the gate to Dis, the second layer of Bator, and lately she desires to escape the Nine Hells. She had learned that Asmodeus desired to imprison her there, and so she was enraged. She instructed her worshippers to assemble the Mask of the Dragon Queen, a powerful artifact that would allow her to escape. This is what led to the events of the Tyranny of Dragons campaigns in 5th edition. That would be about all I have for the video today, so I hope you enjoyed watching. Watch out for the next video, and I'll see you next time.